Welcome to the Passive and Active Fire Protection Systems presentation. And today we are going to talk about the fire protection systems, especially in commercial setting. First, we are going to take a look at passive systems. Passive systems focus on prohibiting and containing fires. Sometimes they are referred to as prevention systems. And the reason why they are called passive because these elements, once they are in place, nothing else has to occur for them to be a part of the control of a fire. So let's talk about the first passive systems, which is fire barriers and partitions. One of the examples is firewalls. Firewalls provide complete vertical separation between areas in a building. So during an emergency, if the construction on one side of the wall failed, the other side would remain standing, providing access to occupants. So basically, it prevents the spread of fire by building a wall which extends from the foundation through the roof with a prescribed fire resistance duration. Firewalls also allow buildings to be subdivided into smaller sections if that is necessary. The second example of fire barriers and partitions is shaft enclosures. And in this case, we are going to talk about elevators. Elevators are automatically recalled to an approved location when a smoke detector is activated. They are created by fire barriers. They are tied to a smoke detector. They have their own standby power as well as specific venting. So during the fire, firefighters can actually access the elevators and use it to access upper floors to fight the fire and help with the evacuation. Next in passive system, we have finishes and furnitures. And today we are going to talk about textiles. First is upholstered textiles. In a commercial use, upholstered textiles have to pass flammability tests for commercial use such as UFCA, grading class 1, and FPA 260, and the CATB 117 for California. It is also the same concept of finishes like wall coverings. Wall coverings in commercial use have to pass flammability tests such as the ASTM E84, rating class A, and NFPA 701. And the reason for these tests is to ensure that the textiles are being used in a public area or commercial spaces are actually safe, and when the space is actually on fire, these fibers within the textiles, instead of helping the fire to spread, they actually prevent the fire from spreading. Now let's talk about active systems. These have to be activated to work against the fire. And first we have the detection systems, such as the smoke detection. In commercial spaces that always have a big group of people gathering around, like theater or cinema, VESTA, which is a very early smoke detection apparatus, is always commonly used. VESTA looks for smoke by constantly sampling and processing the air so that it raises the alarm the moment the fire starts to begin the evacuation. The second example of detection system is heat detection. In commercial setting, there are two kinds of heat detections, fixed temperature and rate of rise. Fixed temperature, it triggers the alarm when heat reaches a certain level, versus rate of rise, it reacts to sudden changes in temperature from the starting set temperature. Nowadays, there are heat detectors out there that actually combine these two kinds of heat detection within the same device. Even though smoke detection and heat detection are two completely separate systems, however, it is very recommended to actually have both of them installed within the same place so that it is very effective to catch a fire. Next, in the active systems, we have the alarm systems. First is the audible alarm. Audible alarm signals an emergency by allowing sound. Sometimes it's the sound of bells, sound of sirens, and also a PA system. It must be placed in a natural path of escape at each required exit to guide occupants to exits. So when the building occupants hear the audible alarm, they can actually follow the sound of the alarm, and then that'll guide them to the exits. The second alarm system is a visual alarm. Visual alarm signals an emergency by using strobe light or rotating beacon. Visual alarm was first required because of ADA, and it must be provided in all public areas so that it helps to guide people with hearing disabilities to the exits. Lastly, we are going to talk about extinguishing systems. First is fire extinguishers. These are portable fire extinguishers used by building occupants to stop the fire. They are typically located along normal paths of travel so that it's easy to access. Because they are movable and they don't have to be attached to a plumbing lines, these are usually specified by the designer on an interior projects. The second extinguishing system is the sprinkler systems. Sprinkler systems are automatic devices that are very sensitive to heat. Commonly, only the sprinkler heads exposed to the heat to activate and release the water. It is also required to be tied into an alarm system to notify occupants of an emergency. And that was the end of our presentation today. Thank you for your time.